everybody, and I just got done watching 1999's At First Sight, or as I like to call it, How to Make a Visually Impaired Person Feel Exceptionally Awkward, starring Val Kilmer, Mira Sorvino, Kelly McGillis and Steven Weber. This one I've only seen once before. I picked it up in a bundle of cheap MGM movies, and I only bought it because it's got Nathan Lane and Bruce Davison in. But yeah, okay. So it tells a story of Virgil, who is a blind man who works at a hotel where he is the masseuse. Was it masseur? Which one is it, people? Is it masseuse for a man or...? Anyway, he does the massages and shit. And Amy is this architect from the city, and she goes to this, she stops off at this hotel, and she gets massaged by him, and she doesn't realise he's blind, and she kind of gets emotional because he's really good at getting deep into the tense spots and stuff. So she bursts into tears and that, and she falls asleep, and she catches up with him as he's getting on the bus to go home, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and it's at the end when she offers her hand, and he doesn't see it obviously, and he just touches her shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, you're blind," and he's like, "Yeah." So he goes home and she kind of has the hots for him in a way, but she doesn't understand why. And they basically meet up again because she keeps going back for massages each day while she's at the hotel, and they talk and stuff, and she starts, you know, having a kind of relationship with him, but then she starts looking up these websites about doctors who could do surgery on his eyes to give him sight, and he's like, well, I don't know, you know, because he's been blind since he was like 3, but she insists that he should do it because, you know, how could he not have ambitions of seeing and stuff like that? So she takes him to the city, and he gets operated on by this doctor played by Bruce Davison, and he starts getting his sight, but of course fucking freaky because he doesn't understand what things look like sight-wise. I mean, reflections are a complete bizarre concept. And you know, all his life, his language is touch, and you know, to then have to basically learn as if he was a baby, all these like expressions and items, etc., is very terrifying. But Amy persists with him and like, don't give up and stuff, and they have this very strained relationship because she's kind of trying to make him into what she wants, basically, and at the same time she still working with her ex-husband, and at one point has danced with him and then kisses him as like, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that." And it's just like, and you have no reason to like this woman, seriously. This is a chick flick, and I was so pissed off with her. But anyway, then Virgil starts to lose his sight again. And she's just like, "Oh, well, all I tried to do was, you know, give you a life, basically." And you know, and he's like, "Well, did you ever see yourself being with a blind man?" And she's like silent, and he's like, "Yeah, that's enough answer." And he leaves. And you see him having to settle back into his home life and getting back to, you know, because he's not seen his sister for some time, because he moved, you know, stayed with Amy, kind of thing. So, but then at the very end, like, Amy turns up and is just like, "Yeah, we should, you know, I'm kind of not happy without you, this, that and the other, and I'm doing work in it, but why don't we go for a walk? And I'm like, what? You can't just throw that in at the end. This is one of those, as far as generally movie-wise, this is the most generic romance movie you can watch. And it's got some good performances in, like by Val Kilmer as Virgil is quite good. It's really good. Nathan Lane is this sight teacher, and he's really, really underused in this and has such a small part, but for the time that he's in it, he's really good. But this is a difficult one for me, obviously, as somebody with a visual impairment, because you're supposed to believe that, you know, this is a positive thing and stuff like that. But it kind of comes across that, you know, as this, that she doesn't love him just for being him, that she has to change him, that, you know, how can somebody not have a life if they can't see? Now, I'm fortunate in that I have, you know, some eyesight left still in this eye. I can't see out this side whatsoever. I'm fortunate in that I can still see to get around enough. But even then, my whole life I was born with a rare eyesight condition that people did not understand. And, you know, I was bullied and stuff like that. And people have not not accepted me for who I am, be it in school or job or whatever. And it's this kind of thing that then gives you, like, amplifies the belief that, you know, I mean, I would give anything to be able to see. Do not get me wrong, but not at the cost of who I am, and not because somebody else demands that I should be able to see. Because I can do what I do, be it my videos, be it my artwork, etc., just as I am, and I adapt. As my eyesight deteriorates, I try to adapt. And this thing is just like, how dare you not be able to see? You must be able to see. You cannot have a quality of life without seeing. And it just, and I'm not saying that is the main message, but that's how it kind of feels. And I love seeing the character being disorientated and just weirded out and stuff like that. All that stuff works. My main problem with this is the whole Amy issue. Her whole attitude is wrong. She does not learn anything by the end, really, except for just sitting there going, well, that kind of sucks that he's left me. She hasn't really learned anything about the fact that she could be with somebody who's disabled. And that pisses me off. And I don't know. I think the problem is there are some good aspects of this movie, but on the other, and even the genericness of it, I can kind of go with normally. I mean, I watch a lot of chick flicks that are all pretty much the same, but they each have their own redeeming qualities in some way. This has some, but it is severely marred by that one character. And that kind of sucks, because Mira Sorvino is not a bad actress. It's just what she's given here really does not work. I think generally it could just be me. I don't mean to sound like the bitter disabled person, but it just pissed me off in all the wrong ways. Other people, normal people if you will, probably won't have obviously the same issues with it that I had. But I just got really bored with it, to be honest. I kept getting distracted away. I was just like, I kept putting it on pause and going to go do something else. Because it just was not holding me. But you know, there are much better romance movies if you're after one. These people have been in much better movies. But yeah, just if you can get it for free, then yeah. But I wouldn't pay for it. I mean, it's one of those movies I guess you could watch on a rainy night. But don't expect much from it. It's very blah. It's very average. I'd give it a 5 out of 10, if that. Sorry I can't say much more about this movie. I was too distracted and too pissed off with it, really, to completely get into it. But like I say, Val Kilmer is amazing. He is the highlight of this movie, easily. And you know what? If it had just been a movie with him in, and exploring stuff like that, and maybe exploring him getting his sight and whatnot, then it would have been a lot more enjoyable. But yeah, that just... It's amazing how one character can piss you off to the point of just ditching a movie. But yeah, that was 1999's At First Sight. Just don't bother. We are back again tomorrow with a nice road movie. But for now, this is Sketch, signing out.